Welcome, everyone, as we are just moments away from the start of game number 2 here at Westendorf Field. This is a Crossroads League doubleheader between your University of St. Francis Lady Cougars, entering today in 6th place in the Crossroads League standings. Did lose game number 1 4-3 against Huntington, who's currently in 4th place in the Crossroads League standings. We're going to read now from the game day program put together by Sports Information Director Bill Scott. It says Lady Cougars return home for the HU Challenge. 4 at home is how the University of St. Francis will close out the Crossroads League schedule, starting with today's doubleheader at Westendorf Field against Huntington University. USF is coming off a road sweep at Bethel on Monday, 8-0 in 5 innings and 3-0. Securing a 4-0 season sweep of the Pilots. The Foresters enter today's twin bill, looking for the sweep after winning 7-2 on April the 10th and 4-1 on April the 21st, completing Game 2 at HU after the second game was halted in the top of the first with 2 outs. Huntington swept Goshen on Saturday 3-1 and 3-0 in Huntington. The Foresters have won 8 of their last 9 games, including their last 3 games. So they've won 4 games in a row now. USF is 8-6 at Westendorf Field in Crossroads League only home games. So St. Francis now 8-7 at Westendorf Field. Huntington is 7-7 on the road in Crossroads League only games. So they're 8-7 now on the road. USF's Breanna Pryor is number 28 in the NEIA top 50 stolen bases with 25. That's a career high for Pryor. Pryor is number 4 in overall Crossroads League batting with a .421 average. She is tied for number 3 in Crossroads League only batting average at .440. Donjanae Chamberlain is tied at 14th with a .385 batting average. In Crossroads League only games, Pryor continues to lead in stolen bases with 25, and Donjanae Chamberlain is number 3. Donjanae now has 21 stolen bases on the season, as she had 1 in game number 1. In Crossroads League only games, Pryor continues to, that's lead in stolen bases. Pryor now has 26 stolen bases on the season. Katy Guebard is number 5 in Crossroads League only strikeouts. She has 54 strikeouts in Crossroads League only games, and she has 70 strikeouts total on the season. So really getting it done in conference play has been Katy Guebard. The number 2 pitcher for St. Francis, she'll start game number 2 here. Katy's a junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana Carroll High School. Starting in game number 1 in the circle for St. Francis was Heather Zengler, the 6'1" senior out of Portage, Indiana. And Heather took the loss in that game 1, 4-3 against Huntington. Folks, we are just moments away from the start of this one. Leading it off for Huntington will be Natalie McGuire. Natalie, who was 2 for 5 in game number 1, did reach on an error in the 7th inning and had a run scored. So it'll be McGuire, Lehman, Kloffenstein, Miller, the same 4 that we saw for Huntington in game number 1. The number 5 batter will be Sabrina Bethel, who had one heck of a game, going 4 for 4 at the plate with an RBI. She'll bat number 5. That was a position Ashley Brown held in game number 1. Atop the Crossroads League standings, it's Marian University. They're 37-3 overall, 28-2 in Crossroads League play. Taking a look at the recent results here, it was Spring Arbor beating Mount Vernon as 6-5 and losing 3-5 on Monday. Marian won 11-0 and 6-5 at Spring Arbor this past Saturday. So I'm trying to find out where Marion's second loss was. And here it was this past Friday. Marion lost to Taylor 2-0 after beating Taylor 6-3. So Marion's only 2 losses of the season came against this team right here, Huntington, and also came to Taylor this past Friday. Taylor then came to St. Francis on Saturday and swept the Lady Cougars. So leading it off will be the only senior for Huntington. It's Natalie McGuire from Elwood, Indiana, Frankton High School. She'll lead off game number 2 and play shortstop. McGuire, it's kind of wild to think she's the only senior on this team for the Lady Foresters. Foresters with a freshman-dominated squad. They have 10 freshmen on the team. So that first pitch from Katy Guebard is a ball. Katy entering today with a 3.89 ERA. She's got 5 complete games and a 6-8 record on the season. So that pitch is in there for a strike. In 99 innings pitched, she's given up 58 runs, 55 of those earned, 113 hits. She has 33 walks and 70 strikeouts. She's one of the tops. That ball looked like it had hit off the nub of the bat, but McGuire will take first base after being hit by a pitch. That'll bring up Casey Lehman, the catcher. Casey's a freshman out of New Palestine. She was 3 for 4 with a double and a run scored in game number 1. Throws down the bunt, picked up by Hubble, who makes the tag. Great play there by the first baseman, number 6, Morgan Hubble, to get out number 1. Advancing to second base will be McGuire for for Audra Kloffenstein, the center fielder. Kloffenstein reached on an E1 in the 5th. She was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Did have 2 RBI on that E1. That was the throw from the pitcher that got past the first baseman and scored the 2 runs. 2-0 is your count to Kloffenstein. Kloffenstein's a junior, one of the elder statesmen on this team. She's the only junior, so just 1 junior and 1 senior. As that ball is caught by Breanna Pryor for out number 2. With 2 outs, that brings up Laren Miller. Miller, who got the win in the circle in game number 1. Takes that first pitch for a ball. The 1-0 from Guebard catches the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1's your count. Opposing hitters are batting .287 against Katy Guebard. She's given up 7 home runs on the season, 2 triples. 2-1 now, the count to Laren Miller. Laren is from Goshen, Indiana, Fairfield High School. She's got the best ERA of any pitcher in today's doubleheader at 2.33 entering today. Did give up 3 runs in game number 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, your count to Laren Miller. Swing and a miss. So Katy Guebard picks up her first strikeout in the first inning as we go to the bottom half of the inning, scoreless. Leading it off for St. Francis will be Donjanae Chamberlain. In the circle for Huntington is Camille Furrow, a 3.85 ERA, 10-8 record, 11 complete games. She's got 120 innings pitched under her belt. Has given up 95 runs, 66 of those earned. In 189 hits, she has 51 strikeouts, only 12 walks. This Huntington team does not walk batters. Both she and Miller entered today with just 12 strikeouts on the season, which is the best, or excuse me, with just 12 walks on the season, which is the best of any pitchers in this game. Furrow, the 2-0, misses low and outside, so she could walk Donjanae Chamberlain to start this game. Furrow, once again, 12 walks and 51 strikeouts entering today. Opposing hitters are batting .353 against Furrow. 4 straight pitches to Donjanae Chamberlain results in a walk. That'll bring to the plate Breanna Pryor. Pryor scored all 3 runs for St. Francis in game number 1. With 0 outs, as Chamberlain at first. That pitch is going to catch the outside corner for strike 1. Pryor didn't like it. On deck is number 27, center fielder Lizzie Meyer. Fouled off the backstop. 0-2 is your count. Pryor in game number 1 was 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Pitch misses outside for ball 1. Chamberlain had a good day at the plate in game number 1. She was 2 for 4. Pryor the 1-2. It's fouled away. Pryor having an outstanding sophomore season for Coach Ryan Bolin. Drills that ball into left field. Follows up the walk with a hit. So we have runners at first and second base now for Lizzie Meyer. Lizzie Meyer in game number 1. She was 3 for 4 with 2 RBI. Meyer entering today's doubleheader with a .315 batting average takes that first pitch for a ball. That average continues to climb here as we wind down the regular season. This is the last week of the regular season for the Crossroads League. As we get ready for the conference tournament, Cougars currently in 6th place. Huntington in 4th. She'll take the 2-0 for a strike. 2-1's your count. Ball hit right back at Furrow. She can't handle it. One hop chop right at Furrow. Hit her right in the mitt. As we have bases loaded now. No outs for Ramsie Hurlock. Ramsie, cleanup hitter, true freshman, takes that first pitch for a strike. Second baseman for Coach Bolin. Ramsie was 1 for 3 with a sacrifice RBI in game number 1. Fouls it off. Hurlock down in this count, 0-2. Entering today with a .308 batting average. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Furrow picks up her first strikeout of the game. 1 out with bases loaded for number 6, Morgan Hubble. Hubble entering today with a .230 batting average. Had a hit in the first inning. Or in the second inning in game number 1 was 1 for 3. So that first pitch is a ball. 1-0 from Furrow with bases loaded. That ball slices foul. Counts 1-1. In right field for Huntington is number 2, Amber Kloffenstein, the freshman. Her sister, Audra, is in center field. As Hubble lays down the bunt, Furrow tries to go home with it.
Ball hit the bat twice in her hand. In the box, here, foul.
So that's a foul ball. The ball hit her bat twice in the box. So that's a foul ball. 1-2 is your count after the perfectly laid bunt there by Morgan Hubble. That was the umpire in the field making the call. He's been on it today with the players in the box. That one's fouled out of play. 1-2 remains the count. Hubble once again 1 for 3 in game number 1. She is a junior from Anderson, Indiana. Went to Pendleton Heights High School, the same high school as Breanna Pryor. Swing and a miss for out number 2. So Furrow is battling here after the first 3 batters reach base. She gets back-to-back strikeouts. That brings up number 14, Ashleigh Morrow, the right fielder. Ashleigh entering today with a .257 batting average. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Morrow in game number 1 was 0 for 1. Had a walk. Down to this count, 0-2. Furrow looking to get out of the jam by striking out 3 batters in a row. As that pitch misses a little bit low. You can tell she's starting to settle into the circle. We saw this from Laren Miller, the starter for Huntington in game 1. She gave up 4 straight hits, but the Lady Cougars got caught stealing twice. That's a nice play by Joelle Beals, number 27. Fields the grounder and steps on third. Lady Cougars leave 3 stranded as we head to the top of the second, scoreless. Leading off for Huntington is going to be number 10, Sabrina Bethel, the designated player. Here in the top of the second inning, 0 outs. That first pitch will miss low and inside by Katy Guebard. Guebard, who struck out Laren Miller to end the first. 1-1's your count. Breanna Bethel was outstanding, going 4 for 4 at the plate, had an RBI double back in the fourth in game number 1. Entering today's action with a .330 batting average, which is third best for Huntington. 1 ball and 2 strikes is your count here in the top of the second. Swing and a miss. Katy Guebard picks up her second strikeout of the game. 1 gone in the top of the second. That'll bring to the plate Marty Harris. Harris, second baseman. She's a sophomore. One of the veterans on this team. Harris was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Pitch misses upstairs. Two balls, 1 strike to Harris. Make it 3-1 now as Harris fell behind in this count 0-1 to start the game. That ball popped up. I nearly made that catch.
Almost got you there.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch misses inside. Guebard liked it. But Marty Harris is now at first base. That'll bring up Joelle Beals. Beals did not play in game number 1. Swings at the first pitch. She did get a pinch hit as Pryor makes the play. That'll advance Harris to second for Amber Kloffenstein. Kloffenstein did bat in game number 1. Beals didn't. She just played the field for that last inning. Kloffenstein struck out looking in her only AB. First pitch is a swing and a miss for Kloffenstein. On deck is Carly Blankenship. Kloffenstein down the count now 0-2. Blankenship was 1 for 4 in game number 1. That's a ball. Guebard's career high is 11 strikeouts. That happened earlier this year. I believe it was Spring Arbor. Another one fouled out of play. It's Amber Kloffenstein's battling at the dish. That one's another one, rip foul. Errant toss there to the umpire. Another ball's in play. So we are locked and loaded here.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter, Amber Kloffenstein. Pitch misses upstairs. Counts evened up at 2 apiece. Now 1 out of play. Right off the top of the dugout. Amber Kloffenstein entering today with a .229 batting average, 11 hits, 7 runs scored, and 48 ABs. Her sister leads the team with 18 stolen bases. So that's a pop out to Breanna Pryor for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the second, scoreless. So Abby Skur to lead it off for St. Francis here in the bottom of the second. She was 1 for 2 with a walk in game number 1. Skur takes that first pitch for a strike. Skur has been playing all season with a knee injury. I believe she's going to have surgery right after the season's over. Try to get it to 100% heading into next season. 0-2 is the count to Skura. She'll start flashing the bunt. Swing and a miss as Furrow reached back. Brought the heat on that one. That'll bring up Abby Mosier. Mosier, the catcher for the Cougars. Furrow was a designated player in game number 1. Mosier 0 for 3 in game number 1. Down this count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Mosier. Abby Mosier taking over the catching duties for graduated Erica Smith, the All-American catcher for Coach Ryan Bolin. Erica, the all-time home runs leader in Cougar softball history. 2-1 your count. Mosier coming in and just playing outstanding behind the plate. Very vocal. This is exactly what you want out of your catcher. And she's a good AB. Ball in the dirt. Full count. Furrow to Mosier. Furrow, the freshman from Waterloo, Indiana, DeKalb High School, where she was a Lady Baron. Count remains at full. On deck is Catherine Knudsen. She'll enter today with a 128 batting average. She was batting under 100. And then, boy, what was the doubleheader where she had 3 hits? I believe that was the Indiana Wesleyan doubleheader. Swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 4 for Camille Furrow. I'm a fireball. So coming to the plate is Catherine Knudsen, the left fielder. 6 hits, 4 runs scored, and 47 ABs. 1 RBI on the season. So that first pitch is a swing and a miss for Knudsen. Cats got senior day coming up this Friday when the Lady Cougars host Goshen. First pitch scheduled for 3 p.m. I don't believe it's supposed to rain on Friday, but it is supposed to rain on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2-1 the count. Talked to Kat's parents earlier in the season, and it's tough for them because their son is an offensive lineman at the University of Virginia, and his spring game is this weekend as well. So they kind of have to pick and choose where they're going to be, which is never easy. So on the 3-1, Knutson draws the walk. That brings up the leadoff hitter, Donjanae Chamberlain. Kat Knutson's put in some very good ABs for Coach Ryan Bowler, no doubt about it, as of late. So Chamberlain drew a walk in her first AB, takes that first pitch for a strike. On deck, it's Breanna Pryor. Chamberlain fouls that off. 0-2's the count. Pryor in her first AB ripped a shot into left field for a single. Scored all 3 runs in game number 1 for St. Francis. It was like that in the Wesleyan game too. 1-2's your count. She is just a ball player. 1-2 from Furrow. It's going to miss low and outside to Chamberlain. Counts evened up at 2 apiece. A lot of the Huntington folks left after game 1. They did have a big crowd here for game number 1. So that slapped foul. Count will remain at 2-2. Chamberlain and Pryor could see all conference honors this year, both among the leaders in the Crossroads League. I expect Pryor to be first team all Crossroads League, as that's going to fall into center field. Audra Kloffenstein doing a good job of getting her right hand on it. That could have got past her. So runners at first and second now for Breanna Pryor. Pryor, who had a single, I think they turned up the volume on the receiver in the dugout. 1-0 is your count. Two outs, runners at first and second base. Pryor checks that one for strike 1. One and 1 is your count to Breanna Pryor. That ball's hit right at McGuire for out number 3. Lady Cougars leave 2 stranded as we head to the top of the third, scoreless. Here in the top of the third inning, leading it off will be the number 9 hitter, Carly Blankenship. Katy Guebard in the circle has not given up a hit so far in this game. She has given up 2 walks. Make that 1 walk, and she accidentally hit a batter. 0-1's your count. That ball's drilled into left. Knudsen going back, as that's going to short hop the fence. Blankenship in with a leadoff double to start the top of the 3rd. That'll bring to the plate the leadoff batter, Natalie McGuire, the shortstop. McGuire once again 2 for 5 in game number 1 with a run scored. Was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning. 1-0 is your count. Ball popped up. I just missed it. 1-1's your count. McGuire, once again, the only senior for Huntington, takes that pitch upstairs. 2-1 your count. Guebard, only a junior. She'll be back next year as the ace of the staff. Cougars will graduate their other 2 pitchers in Heather Zengler and Dana Clausen. So St. Francis, hey, if you're a good high school senior pitcher, St. Francis has an opening for the 2018 season. Katy Guebard will be the ace. Swing and a miss. Guebard picks up her 3rd strikeout of the game. That'll bring the plate Casey Lehman. Blankenship at second. Lehman grounded out to Morgan Hubble in her first AB. Up in this count, 1-0. Two O's to count. Lehman, the freshman catcher. She was 3 for 4 in game number 1. She can swing it. That ball hit into left center field, and that's trouble. So that's going to roll all the way to the fence. Coming home to score will be Blankenship. The game's first run on the RBI double by Casey Lehman. That'll bring up Audra Kloffenstein. 0 for 1 in this game. Takes that first pitch for a ball inside. She was 0 for 3 in game number 1. The 2-0 from Guebard. This is upstairs for ball 3. Guebard, the 3-0. Grooved in there for strike number 1. 3-1's your count. So on the pass ball, Lehman takes 3rd. Kloffenstein to 1st on the walk for Laren Miller. Laren, the winner in game number 1, winning pitcher. Mosier is just so confident with her throws as she played that one perfectly. She is one heck of a catcher. 0-1 is your count. To Miller, pops that one up as Guebard makes the basket catch. Little confusion between her and Morgan Hubble. Hubble is literally facing right at the sun. Guebard not as much. Your batter is Breanna Bethel. She was the hottest hitter coming into this game, but did strike out in her first AB. 1-0 is the count. 2 outs, runners at second and third. That ball's drilled foul. 1-1 your count. The 1-1 fouled off. 1-2's your count. Lehman at third. Kloffenstein at second. Kloffenstein obviously stole a base to get to second base. That's her 19th stolen base on the season. She entered today with 18. I think she had a stolen base in game 1 too, so that would put her at 20. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lehman at third base, looking to be the second run for Huntington. Guebard looking for strikeout number 4 to end this inning. Another one hit foul. Nearly hit Lehman. On deck is number 18, the second baseman, Marty Harris. The outfield's in shallow as Knutson makes the grab in left field. That's going to save 2 runs. A huge grab for Catherine Knutson. We'll head to the bottom of the third. 1-0, Huntington on top. Leading off will be Lizzie Meyer, the number 3 hitter for St. Francis. That was picked up right away by Marty Harris for out number 1. That'll bring up the number 4 batter, Ramsie Hurlock, who struck out in her first AB back in the first. Ramsie was 1 for 3 with an RBI back in game number 1. Oh, 1 your count to Hurlock. Entering today with a .308 batting average. One of 4 Lady Cougars batting over 300. led by Breanna Pryor, who's batting .421. That average will continue to rise. Pryor's 3 for 4 in game 1, 1 for 2 so far in game number 2. 0-2 is your count to Hurlock. Make it 1-2. Ramsie, the freshman from Kokomo, Indiana. That ball is drilled into right center. That's trouble for a 1-out single. That'll bring up number 6, Morgan Hubble. Hubble struck out in her first AB back in the first. Bases were loaded in the first inning. Then Camille Furrow struck out Hurlock, Hubble, and got Ashleigh Morrow to ground out to third base. As the third baseman stepped on third and got the force out. 1-0 is your count to Morgan Hubble. Counts evened up at 1 apiece after the foul ball. Hubble, entering today's doubleheader with a .230 batting average, was 1 for 3 in game number 1. 0 for 1 right now with a 1-1 count. One's on the scoreboard. 1-2 now with 1 out and a 1-0 lead for Huntington. 1-2, beautiful hit right down the right field line. That will advance Hurlock to third base. Nice piece of hitting by Morgan Hubble as that went right over first base, touched in fair territory, and then skated towards the field tarp that keeps the field dry when it's about to rain. Okay, so after back-to-back singles, we have runners at first and third for Ashleigh Morrow. Morrow is 0 for 1 in game number 1. Is 0 for 0 after grounding into the fielder's choice. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Just 1 out with runners at the corners. Morrow, just a sophomore for Coach Bolin. Takes that pitch upstairs. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Morrow's from Yorktown, Indiana, Yorktown High School. 5'7" outfielder. Hits it right back at Furrow. Furrow checks the runner back at third. That's a nice play by the pitcher, the freshman pitcher, Camille Furrow. So Hubble advances to second base. We have runners at second and third for Abby Skura. Skura, who struck out in her first AB, takes that first pitch for a strike. She was 1 for 2 in game number 1. The 0-1. That ball is sliced into right field. Kloppenstein underneath it for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the fourth. Huntington up 1-0 after the Cougars leave 2 stranded there in the bottom of the third. Leading off here for Huntington will be number 18, Marty Harris, second baseman, 0 for 3 in game number 1. Drew a walk and reached second base in the second inning. 1-0 is your count to Marty Harris. It's Guebard in the circle. 3 strikeouts through 3 innings. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. That ball's drilled into right. Morrow makes the diving grab for out number 1. Ashleigh Morrow, who misjudged it at first right off the crack of the bat, regrouped and was able to make the diving grab. That'll bring up Joelle Beals, who enters today with a 197 batting average, grounded out to Breanna Pryor. That was back in the second inning. First pitch is a ball to Joelle Beals. She's from Festa Valley Christian High School out of Warrenton, Virginia. She's a freshman. She's also a shortstop. So she should be taking over for McGuire, as that's ripped foul. Big laughs coming out of the Huntington dugout. That ball was hit right in the direction of Gower. Beals checks that for strike 2. 1-2 is your count.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Guebard, the 1-2, looking for a strikeout number 4. So that's fouled away. Had a weird sound off that bat. I don't even know what kind of bats they swing these days. When I played, swung an aluminum bat. It was an Easton Black Magic. It was nice. Black Magic was the black Easton with the yellow writing. 1-2 remains the count to Joelle Beals. I used to swing at 33-30. Mosier's from Lawrence Central High School out of Indianapolis, Indiana. The Bears. 1-2 to Beals. That's ripped into right field. Good piece of hitting there for Joelle Beals, who picks up her 14th hit on the season. 14 hits now and 68 ABs. That'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Amber Kloffenstein. She popped out to the shortstop in her first AB. Kloffenstein entering today with a 229 BA. That's another one for Pryor. For out number 2. Brings to plate Carly Blankenship. She scored the only run in this game for Huntington. She had a double back in the 3rd. Casey Lehman knocked her in on a 2 RBI double. She'll take that first pitch for a ball. Wyoming to strike. Blankenship wearing the gray spikes. They're pretty much brown now after all the games she's put in this season. She's a freshman from Noblesville, Indiana, Noblesville High School. It's Blankenship with the 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2 your count. Guebard just missed there with the rise ball.
Oh,
that
you got
one.
it that time.
Actually, I did catch that one.
Oh, I didn't see where it went.
But they're not going to give me an assist or a put out or anything. Just be 1-2. If I didn't catch that ball, it might have hit my soundboard. 1-2 from Guebard. Runner is off. That's Beals, and she is gone. Abby Mosier guns her down, so Blankenship will lead off the top of the 5th. After Abby Mosier, and she does have a cannon for an arm, folks. What a great catcher. Abby Mosier, who had the last assist last inning, leads it off. Kloffenstein makes the grab for out number 1. That'll bring up Kat Knutson, who drew a walk in her first AB. Kat, the starting left fielder. Knutson wearing the All-American shoelaces. Has the red and white stripes on the right foot and the blue with the stars on the left foot. Outstanding shoelaces for Catherine Knutson. 1-1 your count. Knutson also wearing the pink hair tie. A couple years ago, it seemed like all the girls would choose the same hair tie and wear them. That's when they were wearing the fluorescent ones. Swing and a miss for Knutson for out number 2. Two outs will bring up Donjanae Chamberlain. Chamberlain's 1 for 1 in this game with a single back in the second, drew a walk back in the first. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Chamberlain, the lefty slap hitter. Breanna Pryor on deck. So that ball's hit right at second baseman. That one ate her up a little bit. Marty Harris. So Chamberlain at first base on the E4 brings up Breanna Pryor. Pryor takes that first pitch for a strike. 1 for 2 in this game, had a single back in the first, popped out to McGuire. Shortstop, that was back in the second. Pryor drills this one up the gut. Kloffenstein fields it quickly. Runners at first and second for Lizzie Meyer. That's the 5th hit on the day for Breanna Pryor. She's 5 for 7 today. She's pretty much an automatic hit lately at the plate, Breanna Pryor. Lizzie Meyer was 3 for 4 in game 1. Looking for her first hit today. 0-1's count to Lizzie. That ball's hit a little bit too hard right at Kloffenstein for out number 3. Lady Cougars leave 2 stranded as we head to the top of the 5th, 1-0, Huntington. Leading off will be Carly Blankenship. She was batting top of the fourth when Joelle Beals was thrown out trying to steal second base. First pitch from Katy Guebard is ball number 1. In the fourth inning was the first inning that Guebard did not record a strikeout. 2-0's the count. Guebard's only given up the 1 run, and that was back in the third. That ball is drilled into left. That's going to be trouble as Blankenship continues her hot hitting. That's a leadoff double. Blankenship now 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. She was 1 for 4 in game number 1. That'll bring up Natalie McGuire. McGuire struck out in her last debut. Back in the third. 0 for 1 in this game, was hit by a pitch in the first. Was 2 for 5 in game number 1. First pitch, strike to Natalie McGuire, the senior. Only senior for the Foresters. Takes that for ball 1. One from Katy Guebard. Fouled out of play. 1-2 now your count. Average depth for the outfield. Infield as well. Corners playing in just a little bit. That's another one hit foul. 1-2 is your count for McGuire. From Elwood, Indiana. McGuire looking for her first hit in game number 2. Pokes that ball into right center, tracked down by Meyer. She'll come home with it. No cutoff. So that's an RBI double there for McGuire, who ends up reaching third. 2-0 Huntington. Carly Blankenship now has both runs scored for Huntington in game number 2. Your batter is Casey Lehman. First pitch in there for a strike from Katy Guebard. Lehman, the freshman catcher. That bunt is trouble. So coming home to score is McGuire on the RBI bunt by Casey Lehman. 3-0 now Huntington. Your batters, Audra Kloffenstein. Takes that first pitch high for ball 1. 1-0 is your count. Guebard bringing the gas there. 1-2 is your count. 0 outs. So we are in the top of the 5th inning. Huntington leads it 3-0. That ball popped up. Knutson charging in, calling for it. Has the grab for out number 1. That'll bring the plate Laren Miller. 0 for 2 in this game. Miller was 0 for 3 in game 1. Miller coming in with a .327 BA. Nice bunt as that ball just went dead. Guebard firing. Not enough, as that was just the perfect bunt. That'll bring up Sabrina Bethel. Guebard battling here in the top of the fifth, trying to get the next two batters. Bethel 0 for 2. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. 0 for 2 in this game, but was 4 for 4 in game number 1 with an RBI. The 0-1 from Guebard. That ball is drilled down the left field line. They're going to call that foul off the fence. 0-2 now the count. Bethel entering today with a .330 batting average and 0 home runs. The 0-2 from Guebard. It's fouled away. .02 from Guebard with 1 out. Popped up. Hubble should be no problem. Infield fly called for out number 2. 2 gone, and your batter is Marty Harris. Harris 0 for 1 in this game. Drew a walk back in the second. She was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Fastball misses outside. We're evened up at 1 apiece here in the top of the fifth. One, two's your count. One, two from Katy Guebard. Ball hit right at Pryor. Comes up firing for out number 3. Guebard able to limit the amount of runs there Huntington was going to put on the board. They get 2. 3-0 your lead heading to the bottom of the fifth. So leading off for the Cougars here in the bottom of the fifth will be Ramsie Hurlock. 1 for 2 in this game, had a single back in the third. 1 for 3 with an RBI in game number 1. Lady Cougars are down 3-0. St. Francis lost game 1 4-3. Camille Furrow really been pitching well lately. Entering this inning, she's given up 5 hits. As Furrow. 1-1's your count to Hurlock. Two one now your count. Hurlock leading off here in the bottom of the 5th. The big cut, swing and a miss.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pitcher Camille Furrow. Ooh, nice off-speed pitch for the swing and a miss. 1 gone for your batter, Morgan Hubble. That's the 6th strikeout of the game for Furrow. She throws a pretty good heater. An off-speed pitch up in the zone for strike 1. That was a fastball down low. 1-1's your count. On deck for St. Francis, it's Ashleigh Morrow. Hubble drills that ball up the gut, and a nice diving catch by Audra Kloffenstein for out number 2. Your batter now, it's Ashleigh Morrow. 0 for 1 in this game with a fielder's choice back in the 1st. 1-0 is your count tomorrow. Ball picked up by the second baseman, Marty Harris. So we'll head to the top of the 6th. Huntington up 3-0. Leading off for Huntington here in the top of the 6th will be Joelle Beals. Beals, who picked up a hit back in the 4th inning, is 1 for 2 in this game. She was caught stealing, trying to take second base for the 3rd out of that inning. 1-0 is your count to Beals. This one popped up into left center field. Meyer calling for it for out number 1. That'll bring up Amber Kloffenstein. 0 for 2 in this game. She's popped out twice to the shortstop, Breanna Pryor. Takes that first pitch for ball 1. Amber entering today with a .229 batting average. It was 0 for 1 with a strikeout in game 1. Pryor. Nice stretch. Oh, for Hubble. But they're going to give her a single. Kloffenstein with a 1-out single brings to the plate Carly Blankenship. Blankenship's been ripping the cover off the ball. 2 for 2 in this game with 2 doubles. So that first pitch to Blankenship is a ball. Entering today with a .295 batting average. Not a bad average for your number 9 hitter. As she batted in the 9 hole in both games. Takes the inside pitch for a strike. 1-1's your count. Two-1 now to Blankenship. You guessed it, she's just a freshman. She's a utility player. Played left field here in game 1 and game 2. That ball's drilled. That could be gone, as that'll hit off the bottom of the fence. Coming home to score is Kloffenstein, and she does have wheels, just like her sister. That's the 4th run of the game for Huntington. After the RBI double for Blankenship. That's her 3rd double. She's 3 for 3 with 3 doubles. Now with an RBI, she got 2 runs scored. And it looks like Dana Clausen's going to come into the game to pitch for Katy Guebard. Clausen, the senior from Hobart, Indiana, Hobart High School. Pitched to, I believe it was 1 batter in game number 1. Dana entering today with a 4.99 ERA, a 2-2 record. She's pitched in, this is her 25th game. 47. She's got 48 innings pitched now under her belt. Giving up 41 runs, 34 earned, 31 walks, 24 strikeouts. Giving up 59 hits. Opposing hitters are batting .312 against Dana Clausen. First batter she'll face is going to be the leadoff batter, Natalie McGuire. Blankenship at second base. McGuire, her last AB was a RBI double that scored Blankenship. She would later score. McGuire's 1 for 2 in this game with an RBI and a run scored. She was 2 for 5 with a run scored in game number 1. Only 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 1-0 is your count to Natalie McGuire. Second pitch popped up. Hurlock underneath it for out number 2. Two gone now for number 5, Casey Lehman, catcher. 3 for 4 in game number 1. Here she's 2 for 3 with an RBI. That ball's drilled into left center. Making the snag was Lizzie Meyer for out number 3. Meyer catching it on the run as we head to the bottom of the 6th, 4-0. Huntington. Abby Scurr to lead it off for St. Francis. It's that first pitch to Scurr's in for a strike. 0 for 2 in this game, 1 for 2 in game number 1. Scurr's going to rip that. No way. Called that ball foul. I thought for sure that went over the bag. 0-2 is the count to Scurra. As that's popped up, Miller underneath it for out number 1. It's going to bring the play Abby Mosier. Mosier 0 for 2 in this game, was 0 for 3 in game number 1. First pitch to Mosier's in for a strike. Entering today's doubleheader, Abby with a .261 batting average. 1-1 is your count. One, 2 now to Mosier. Hard chopper hit right at Marty Harris for out number 2.
I'm a fireball.
Your batter now is Catherine Knudsen. She's 0 for 1 in this game. Had a walk back in the second inning and struck out back in the 4th. First pitch is a swing and a miss to Knudsen. 0-1 your count. Cat, 5'10" left fielder, bats right and throws right. She's a senior from Granger, Indiana, Penn High School. One pitch is fouled away. It's 1-2 now to Catherine Knudsen. On deck, it's Donjanae Chamberlain. Cat, the number 9 hitter. Swing and a miss. We'll go to the top of the 7th with Huntington up 4-0. Leading off for Huntington will be the center fielder, Audra Kloffenstein. 0 for 2 in this game with a walk. Her sister's 1 for 3 with a run scored. Her sister is no longer in this game. Playing right field is Kaylee Kitts. 1-0 is your count. Dana Clausen in the circle, the senior lefty. That ball is ripped into left field for a leadoff single. Bats are starting to come alive for Huntington. Your batter now is pinch hitter, number 11, Ashleigh Brown. Kloffenstein now 1 for 3, 1 for 6 on the day.
11 for 9.
It's number 11, batting for number 9. Ashleigh Brown, she was 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored and an RBI in game number 1. Not a bad day. 1-0 is your count. One and one now after the called strike. Kloffenstein definitely a stolen base threat as she is off on the bunt. It's going to fall in front of Morgan Hubble. So, 1 out. Kloffenstein at second base for Sabrina Bethel. 0 for 3 in this game after being 4 for 4 in game number 1. First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1 from Clausen. Pitch upstairs, and that will be a foul ball. Did it stay in play? I don't think it did. 1-1's your count. The 1-1 from Clausen. That'll miss upstairs. 2-1 your count. Bethel, the designated player, popped out to Morgan Hubble back in the 5th, flew out to Kat Knutson back in the 3rd, the left fielder, and struck out back in the 2nd. Pitch up and in, 3-1's your count. Mosier doing a good job of getting to that ball. Ball hit into right center field. Morrow, great positioning there. She's going to keep Kloffenstein at second. Abby Mosier playing the perfect right field there. She was shaded more towards center. That'll bring up Marty Harris, number 18, the second baseman. Harris 0 for 2. She was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Does have a walk. 0-1's your count with 2 outs. Marty Harris. One your count. Clausen enters with just 3 wild pitches today. That ball drilled down the left field line. Will score Kloffenstein. RBI double for Marty Harris. Scores Kloffenstein. 5-0 Huntington. Your batters, Joelle Beals. Beals 1 for 3. Fouls off that first pitch. Beal's a true freshman. Plays shortstop and outfield. Knocks that ball into left center. Coming home to score will be Harris on an RBI single. 6-0, Lady Foresters. With 2 outs, your batter is number 12, Kaylee Kitts. One knows your count. One, two now after that last pitch was fouled out of play. Kitts enters today looking for her first hit of the season. This is her 12th at bat on the season. Actually, yeah, her 12th. 2-2 now your count. She does have 7 runs scored as she's the premier pinch runner. 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. 3-1. Excuse me, full count now, 3-2. Kitts fouls it off. Full count with 2 outs. Clausen. Kitts hits it right at Skura. So she will still be looking for her first hit on the season. Lady Cougars coming up to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. Need 6 runs. Donjanae Chamberlain will lead it off for St. Francis here in the bottom of the 6th. Breanna Pryor and Lizzie Meyer will be your top 3 hitters. Last opportunity for these Lady Cougars. Chamberlain 1 for 2 in this game with a walk. That ball is ripped into left. New left fielder is number 20, Bailey Funkhauser. She's into this game for Carly Blankenship. That'll bring up Breanna Pryor. After the single by Donjanae. First pitch to strike to Pryor. She's 2 for 3 in this game with 2 singles. Pryor was 3 for 4 in in game number 1, so she's having one heck of a day. McGuire gets the lead runner.
All my diamonds shine, 'cause they really damn. She's a line, they be really trying. They ask me if I'm lying, I say really.
That brings the plate Lizzie Meyer, number 27.
I look like I've been ballin' 'cause I'm really ballin'.
Lizzie, 0 for 3 in this game. Was 3 for 4 in game number 1. 1-0's the count. Furrow's just been outstanding in the circle today. After the first 3 batters reached base in the first inning, then she struck out the next 2 and got out of the jam. Lady Cougars started this game with bases loaded. And 0 outs. Now with 2 outs for Ramsie Hurlock. Pryor looking to steal there, had the hit and run on. She's one of the tops in the Crossroads League. Entering today with 25 stolen bases. 1-1's your count. Pryor had a stolen base in the first inning in game number 1. Pryor's off. 27 stolen bases as she continues to add to her career high. 2-1 is your count after the ball in the dirt. She's fast and can just flat out hit the ball. Three-1 to Hurlock. Blankenship underneath it for out number 3. Huntington wins game number 2, 6-0, and will sweep the Lady Cougars today, 4-3 and 6-0. Folks, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Jeff Mahoney, and until Friday, hopefully we don't get rained out for Senior Day here at Westendorf Field. Thanks for joining us.